Everybody's watching the models. Which one's smartest, which tops the benchmark this week? But underneath all of it, there's a quieter fight going on. Not over the AI itself, over the plumbing. The boring-sounding standards that decide how agents connect to your tools, your data, and each other. And this week, that fight got interesting. Five of the biggest names in enterprise software reportedly lined up together, explicitly to counter Anthropic and OpenAI. Here's what nobody says out loud. Whoever owns the plumbing owns the platform. Let's break down the protocol wars. Quick history because we've seen this movie. In the 90s, the exciting stuff was websites. The boring stuff was HTTP and TCP/IP, the protocols that decided how anything talked to anything. And those boring protocols quietly determined the shape of the next 30 years. Standards aren't glamorous, they're load-bearing. Same thing's happening now. Gartner projects that by the end of 2026, around 40% of enterprise apps will have AI agents built in, up from under 5% the year before. When every app has an agent, the standards that let them plug into your company's data stop being a detail and start being strategic infrastructure. Here's the stack, 6 layers, and if you follow this channel, you already know most of them. MCP, the Model Context Protocol, Anthropics. It connects an agent down to tools and data, the universal plug. A to A, agent to agent, Google's. It connects agents across to each other so they can delegate and coordinate. ARD, Agentic Resource Discovery, Google, Microsoft, and Hugging Face. The step before either one, how an agent finds and verifies a capability it's never seen. Agent Skills, Anthropics. Not a connection, it's know-how, the procedures an agent follows. And WebMCP, Google and Microsoft, on a W3C track, extends all of this into the browser. And X402, Coinbase's payment standard, built on an old HTTP status code, so agents can pay for things without a human at checkout. Tools, agents, discovery, know-how, the browser money. Now look at the owner column. The whole foundation was designed by companies competing with each other, which is exactly why this gets tense. So how does a protocol actually win its layer? There's a playbook, and A to A ran it almost perfectly. Step 1, propose broadly. Google launched A to A with 50 partners on day 1. Not a solo announcement, a coalition. Step 2, donate quickly. Within months, Google handed it to the Linux Foundation. That sounds like giving away power. It's the opposite. Nobody adopts a standard their competitor controls. Step 3, absorb rivals. IBM had a competing protocol. Instead of fighting, it merged in. Step 4, version deliberately. A to A hit version 1.0 with signed identity cards, the boring stability enterprises actually need. The result, over 150 organizations running in production inside Microsoft's and Amazon's clouds. That's what winning looks like, not a better spec, a coalition. Now the awkward part, and it's the reason this week's story exists. Over the last 18 months, MCP quietly became the de facto standard for connecting agents to tools. Not by decree, by adoption. It was first, it was simple, it worked. Even OpenAI, Anthropic's biggest rival, adopted it. Anthropic did donate MCP to a foundation too. It's genuinely open. But mindshare is sticky. And if you're a giant enterprise software company, there's something uncomfortable about the default plumbing of the agent era carrying a competitor's name. According to a report from the information, Google, Microsoft, Salesforce, Snowflake, and ServiceNow have agreed to support a shared AI backend protocol, framed explicitly as an answer to Anthropic and OpenAI. Now I want to be careful because I'd rather be accurate than early. This is a report. No protocol has been named, no spec published, no signatory has publicly confirmed it. Treat it as a signal, not a shipped product. But the signal is loud because look at who signed. Salesforce, Snowflake, and ServiceNow sit on an enormous share of the world's enterprise data. Google and Microsoft on the clouds, all of it runs on. If that group ships something coherent, enterprises suddenly get a credible alternative to building on a rival standard. Here's the wrinkle. Those exact same companies already back A to A, the protocol Google built and gave away. So this may not be a clean new front, so much as the incumbents making sure the next layer has their fingerprints on it. So who wins? Here's my honest read, and it's the useful part. Standards don't win by announcement. They win by shipping. The things to actually watch aren't press releases. They're 4 boring signals, real documentation, and SDKs in the languages people use. Do the cloud registries and catalogs list it? And is anyone running it in production? A to A cleared all 4, that's why it's real. An unnamed protocol in a news report has cleared. None of them, yet. So watch the docs, not the drama. So why should you care if you're just building things? 2 reasons. 1. The winner decides your integration work for the next decade. Bet on the wrong plumbing and you rewrite your stack. 2. And this is the reassuring part. The layers are more durable than the logos. Whatever the branding becomes, you'll still connect agents to tools, let them talk to each other, discover capabilities, and give them know-how. Those problems aren't going anywhere. So learn the layers, not the trademarks. The names will change, the shape won't. Subscribe for AI engineering explained visually and tell me, should this plumbing be owned by anyone or does it all belong in a foundation?